Hi everyone, my name is Sophie. Welcome back to my channel. So I recently had a couple of interviews for nursing school and I wanted to share some nursing school interview tips and also provide you guys with my experience and the kinds of questions I was asked. And I'll later go over my answers to those as well. I'm actually going to be starting my nursing school program this June and I'm so excited. So as always, I wanted to give a disclaimer. I am not a nursing school admissions counselor, advisor, etc. I'm just giving you my personal experience here and kind of just get you thinking about the types of possible questions you could be asked. And let's get into it. Okay, so my first tip I have for you is to research the school and program you are interviewing for. Find their mission statement and their core values. It should be on like their website homepage somewhere. Write that down and keep that in mind when you're answering these questions. I would connect this with a personal experience or goal you have and highlight why their program stands out to you and how you resonate and connect with it. My second tip for you guys is to think about your short and long-term goals and decide how nursing fits into that. I think these programs want to know that you are committed to the nursing profession and that you're in it for the long haul. So showing them how this fits into your life for the long term shows that you're committed and motivated and you really want to contribute to the nursing world in some positive way. So if you eventually want to become like a nurse practitioner or a CRNA, show them that. Or if you have a particular interest in one field, unit, or specialty of nursing, show them that, because that really shows how passionate you are about the field. And I think passion is probably one of the top things they're looking for in an ideal candidate. Okay, so now I'm going to go over my personal experience with my nursing school interview. My first impression after the interview was that it went really well, but I think having prepared so much for my interview gave me that confidence going in that made me perform the best that I could. So I'm going to give you guys some questions that I was asked, and I really encourage you to write these down because you will most likely get at least a couple of these questions on your interview. Okay, question number 1. Tell me about yourself. This is a typical interview question. Almost in any interview, you will get this question. And instead of listing things off about yourself, I like to create a story. It's more interesting, more engaging, and I just think it gives the interviewer a better picture of who you are as a person. And remember to stick to your professional life mainly and your educational background. So for this question, I went into, I was diagnosed with a condition as a child, and I talked about my experience as a patient on the other side of the healthcare field and how it had such a profound impact on me. And then I talked about my time in my undergraduate college education where I studied psychology at UC Berkeley and how I really wanted to delve into having a great grasp on mental health before delving into a healthcare profession like nursing. And then I kind of like talked about my experience as a CNA and how my patient interaction and patient care experience has really made me a well-rounded candidate for nursing school, and how I'm hoping I can further develop my patient care experience as a nurse and contribute to the healthcare profession as a nurse. So create a little story. It doesn't have to be long, just like a minute or two. But it's more interesting if you create a story rather than just list things about yourself. Okay, question number 2, why do you want to be a nurse? So instead of just saying, I want to be a nurse because I want to help people, show them how you have a personal connection to the nursing profession. and what really inspires you to be a nurse. Maybe you talk about a mentor, or maybe you talk about your own experience as a patient or a family member's experience, and really show some personal connection. So for me, I talked about my experience as a surgical patient, as a child, and I talked about how the nurses had such a positive impact on me as a child that I now want to be able to provide pediatric patients with the care that I was once provided, because it completely changed my life. And then I also talked about how I'm really seeking a career that is constantly changing, is interesting to me, and kind of keeps me on my toes. I also talked about how I absolutely love science and how the human body is just so fascinating to me. So incorporate like those little things. I would also just generally be prepared to talk about current topics in nursing, like staffing shortages, the COVID-19 pandemic and how it's affected nurses, as well as vaccination requirements. And we all have our own opinions on this, so I'm not really going to go into it with too much detail, but I would be prepared to answer questions surrounding those topics as well. So I was also asked about the long work hours and demands placed on nurses, and how I would be able to manage and kind of function in this kind of an environment. For this kind of a question, I would just touch on how you currently incorporate self-care into your own routine and life. That's what I did. I think the key for answering this question is bringing it back to the present and showing them that I'm already doing these things, and I've already found things that work for me on a daily basis. Okay, question number 5. Describe a time when you encountered conflict in a workplace or professional setting. I think this is a very common question. So for me, I spoke on when I was a CNA student and I was working with a current certified CNA who didn't really want to work with students, and over time she just got very difficult with me and I wasn't able to really learn a lot of stuff. And so what I said is I was very polite, and when we had a moment to ourselves, I politely asked her if we could just talk for a couple minutes. I just mentioned to her that I'm here. If you need any help, please let me know. I really want to learn and contribute and help you take care of these patients. She ended up not really wanting any help, so I spoke with my supervisor and they placed me with a different CNA. So I think the key for this question is to emphasize effective communication. Okay, my 6th question is, what does being a nurse mean to you? I think this one is pretty simple. For me, I said being a nurse means treating your patients with dignity, respect, compassion, and also providing them with the best care possible. Really speak from your heart on this one, be authentic. Okay, question number 7. List 3 qualities others might use to describe you. So whatever those qualities may be, I would just go ahead and list them and be authentic and true to yourself. So whether that be compassionate, leader, collaborative, adaptive, problem solver, critical thinker, whatever comes to your mind, have maybe one from each kind of niche, maybe the emotional kind of side, some that are your ability, so leader, collaborative, something like that, and then maybe one that's more technical. Okay, question number 8. What do you believe will be your biggest challenge going into this program? So for this question, my interviewer was asking me, do you think the lecture portion will be more difficult or the clinical portion? So I kind of prefaced this answer by explaining how I really fine-tuned my time management and my study skills while at UC Berkeley. And then I also mentioned how even though I've been a CNA student and I'm currently a CNA and I've had some clinical experience in a nursing home, the clinical aspect will be almost completely new to me. So I admitted that and I said, but I'm a really fast learner, and I think the fact that I've really gotten my time management and studying skills down to a T will not only help me learn the material, but apply it better in clinical. Okay, and then I know you guys have probably heard this before like a million times, but be yourself, be authentic, it shows, and people know when you're lying or just not being authentic. And then if your interview is virtual like mine was, I recommend maybe lighting a candle, making some tea, grabbing a blanket, and obviously don't like have the blanket over you, maybe just put it on your lap, but create an environment that is calm, free of distractions if possible, and just remember that there is a reason why they want to interview you, okay? So you've made it past that initial stage of evaluation and you have what it takes to be a successful nursing student in their program, okay? There is a reason why they want to interview you. You stand out to them. You've already caught their attention. Okay guys, so that's all that I have for you today. I hope that this was useful and helpful and you wrote down some of those questions. I would write down those questions and write your own answers. That really helped me prepare myself for my interview, and it also just gave me that confidence going in. So good luck on your interviews, and I'll see you next time. Bye.